I'm honoured to host three major defence communities in Wentworth, including HMAS Watson, Victoria Barracks and HMAS Kuttabul and Garden Island, as well as hosting a huge number of RSLs in my community, including the Paddington-Woollahra RSL, Bondi Junction-RSL, Rose Bay RSL, North Bondi RSL, New South Wales Police RSL, Bronte RSL, Coogee Randwick Clovelly RSL, and the Waverley RSL and the Eastern Suburbs Leagues Club. That really represents the depth of importance that the defence community has in my electorate. We host the East Coast's main navy, and I run past it almost every weekend, actually, the HMAS Kuttabul, and I see many of the community out in our community at Anzac Day and other places. And I have myself and I think the broader Wentworth community have enormous respect for everything that the defence, our defence community and also our veterans have given to this country. It's part of the reason why I decided to ask to join the Defence Committee in this term, because I think from now on, defence is going to become only more important to us in this country, and that means that we are going to have to rely more on the good people who are in our defence forces as well as our veterans to look after us and to keep us safe in very uncertain times. And so it is talking to the community that I just described, both the existing bases but also to the RSL community, that it's talking with their interests is how I have approached this bill. And I'll be honest, my community and I have enormous concerns about this bill. I don't doubt the government's intention here, and I don't want to attribute bad motives to this bill, but I need to recognise that in its current form, I will not support this bill because it does not have the support of the veterans community, and that is for good reason. The Defence Honours and Awards system is of enormous importance to the defence community. This is not just about recognition of acts of service and sacrifice. It is also a social contract between those who serve and those who have been trusted to serve, and a recognition of what they have achieved. It underpins morale in the defence community. It conveys institutional respect from the government, respect from all Australians for what has been given, and presents a transparent and dignified process for acknowledging extraordinary service. Every Anzac Day I attend numerous services across the community, including, I think, one of the biggest in the country at North Bondi at a dawn service. And I think the respect that I see from the kids who get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be there with thousands of other people, who, as they watch people with those medals, either for themselves or for loved ones who are no longer with us, that respect that I think it's almost all, frankly, of the young kids in our community is really important. It is about showing respect for making a contribution to this country, which is not necessarily well paid. It is dangerous, but it is incredibly important work. And those medals really show people not just who've done the day-to-day work, but have gone above and beyond in the service of their country. And so the concern, when I started to examine the bill more closely, one of the biggest concerns that has been raised with me is the proposed time limit on tribunal reviews. Under this bill, once an honour award application has been rejected, no appeal to the independent tribunal would be possible if the relevant operation occurred 20 or more years ago. This threshold effectively excludes recognition for veterans from Vietnam, Korea, Timor, some of the early Afghanistan and parts of the Iraq deployment, removing appeal avenues for the majority of tribunal applicants that have been heard between 2020 and 2023, and the majority of applicants who are current veterans in our community. I believe that is not appropriate. I believe that is unjust and may halt the recognition of veterans who have made valuable contributions to ours and other countries' safety, and I believe that they should be allowed that right of repeal. I do believe that that restriction is unfair to those who seek that validation, fairness or correction decades after their services. And I have met some of those individuals in Wentworth and heard some of those stories of seeking that appeal and that support. And I want to recognise also the rejection of that sort of honour is very powerful in terms of its negative impact on individuals in this situation. I also support the repeal of overly restrictive provisions about who can submit review applications on behalf of our veterans. This flexibility is really important, ensuring that advocates, whether they are lawyers, veterans, representatives or appointed proxies, can act in support of those who, through age, illness or inability, may struggle to manage their own appeals. At a minimum, individuals affected by this cut-off should have the right to nominate advocates to pursue genuinely independent tribunal review on their behalf. And so, on this basis, I do support the Coalition's amendments which would remove the 20-year eligibility limit for tribunal review, ensuring fairness irrespective of the passage of time, and require that decision-makers proactively inform applicants of the tribunal review rights, guaranteeing transparency, so those eligible fully understand their rights and appeal process. And finally, repeal restrictions on those who can be an applicant for review on behalf of affected persons. I believe that these are constructive and useful amendments to the bill and would make a material difference in improving the bill, which is otherwise, I believe, right now, deeply, deeply flawed. So I think I understand that the Tribunal, which is an independent statutory body, is also expressing opposition to some of the changes that I've described here in my speech today. And finally, I just put it simply, our veterans deserve a system grounded in fairness, clarity and lasting recognition. This bill, if passed in its current form, undermines that trust. Let us ensure that our defence honours and award systems truly upholds the values and sacrifices that members of the Defence Forces have made and which they purport to honour. Thank you.